Hello, I'm Pastor Joe, and I want to welcome you once again to this week's First Presbyterian Church Update. And, normally I shoot these in the sanctuary, and it's really pretty in there, but it just feels so good to get out of the office and to get outside and read that I thought I would shoot it here again. Well, I want to share something with you. Years ago, this is probably 15 years ago at least. We were living in Hampstead at the time. But I was going to make my brother-in-law a Christmas present. I was going to make a clock. So I got some cedar wood and put it all together. And I had bought a clock insert that would go into it. And I was going to cover the clock base with a clear spray coating. So I was on my way to an evening worship service, and I stopped by the hardware store to pick it up, bought it, ran to the church. Anyway, when I got home, I went out, shook the can up, and sprayed it. And you know what? It wasn't a clear finish. It was an appliance white finish. So it just painted this whole thing white. I was furious with myself. So I spent about a week or so sanding it and doing everything I could to get that white finish off. And this is as good as I could get. I ended up making him another one because I wasn't happy with it. Because when I look at it, I see traces of that white finish. So whenever I look at it, I see my failure. I see my mistakes. I see the imperfections in this. And that's why I still have it. This stays on my shelf. And it reminds me of the imperfections that I have, and actually that we all have. And often they're not noticeable by people. My wife looks at this and she doesn't really see the white finish marks that I do. But that doesn't matter. I know they're there. And so my failures and my problems and my mistakes and my sins and all that may not be evident to you, but God is fully aware of them. And I am too. And so I have to remember to trust God's grace, to trust that I am forgiven. And again, this clock serves as a reminder of that. The truth is that all of us fall short of the glory of God. All of us fall into temptation and sin. But through Jesus Christ, God's Son, we are forgiven. And because of Him, our worth and our value is infinite and eternal. I had a minister tell me that 20 years ago, and I remember it to this day. Our worth and our value in Jesus Christ, or because of Jesus Christ, is infinite and eternal. So I want to encourage you to remember that. We all have imperfections, but we all have an abundance of God's grace, and God's grace is more than sufficient. So I hope that will help you through this day. Well, look, I also want to encourage you, be the church. Let us all be the church. The church isn't just a location. The church certainly isn't a building. We, as God's people, are the church. Let us be the church. I encourage you to check in with people, whether that's through phone call, email, text, or however you do it during this COVID-19 pandemic time. Check in. Just be sure everybody's okay and just be there for one another. Support your community. You can do that through all kinds of ways. You can do it through the canned food drive. You can do it through writing cards to the hospital. You can do it through so many things. Supporting businesses locally. Doesn't matter, but support your community. Support the church. Particularly right now, I want to encourage everyone to support the church financially with your pledges, your stewardship, your commitments that you had made. You can do that online, you can mail it in, you can drop it in person. Be the church. Be regularly worshiping. You can worship with us online, you can worship with us in person. If you're not sure what our guidelines are for in-person worship, go to our webpage and they're there. But however you worship, either online or in person, be worshiping regularly. That's so important. So let us remember to be the church. Well, look, I hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good week. And I look forward to worshiping with you Sunday.